There's definitely a lot to say about that. There's like really like thinking about it like in this year, like it's the year we're all living in. So like we think about this year 2018 being like the modern era. We're supposed to be very like civilized and past these sort of things, but there still are so many like human rights issues, especially surrounding women.
We're having a hard time accepting women as part of the higher voice of any society in general, whether it be physical activity or whether it be vocal activity in the sense of like being a politician or something like that.
I just feel like we've gone so long without, really accepting. I feel like we are just so accustomed to a society where men are kind of have that like unfair advantage.
I guess I would say that there's like, are we doing this already?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh shit.
I think it's mainly rooted in our educational system that we have within our government. Um, at least the public school that I attended to, we didn't have a sex education type workshop or like class formulated to um, kind of touch base on these types of issues. It wasn't until I was in college that I started learning about um, more in depth on sexuality and gender as well as other topics.
For me, I really think um, to the kind of culture and society that America was built on. This very like Protestant, uh, what's the word I'm looking for? Like, we're going to use like cloistered, like closed off. A very like shameful. It's a very shameful society.
Well, sex in my like home and in my upbringing was definitely more traditional. I come from Hispanic. I'm a first generation Hispanic, but most of my family was raised in Mexico, and so I come from like a very traditional culture. Um, well, first of all, men are put in authority automatically. I remember just growing up in general, um, like my mom or like all the women in the family had to wait for all the guys, all the men to be seated, get all their food first, and all that traditional stuff. So I was kind of raised in that sort of setting.
Well, I don't think that you can separate the guy that gets raised in a way that he was maybe raised by like a really, let's just say, a machismo culture that might be like either super masculine, like patriarchy, or like whether it was that influenced him, or whether it was like maybe his first girlfriend that he was heartbroken by, and then from that point forward he had this like over domineering factor upon his like psyche. Like it there's so many factors to being human that you can't just consider either 2 or 3 or 4. Like it's an experience itself. Yeah. And I think that's why it should be a conversation as far as like where we're having essentially.
I believe that having a variety of male role models would be beneficial to the betterment of our society. I know one of my role models growing up was Prince, and so if you're familiar with Prince, he's just out there and kind of his own person, and I absolutely love his music.
I definitely feel that men in general are becoming aware, especially like young men. I very much think the younger generation is very much increasing this like wave of just like understanding and being equalizers and kind of like helping end these boundaries.
I think as men, we should understand the privilege that we have in the world and in this country, but not use that as a negative thing, not use it as a way to objectify women or take advantage of women, but rather help them get integrated in our society and get them to the level where there's not even the conversation of, oh, are men and women equal? It's just going to become something that is normal in our society. And so I feel like we should definitely be going with their progress and helping them out in ways that we can, because we do have an unfair advantage.